Hola, vamos a aprender sobre lección 6, estar en el presente. So we're going to look at the verb estar, which also means to be. So in Spanish, there are two words that mean to be. We learned one, ser. There's also estar. Which one you will use will depend on the situation. So they're not interchangeable. Whenever you feel like using one, you can. Whenever you feel like using the other, you can. This is dependent on the situation. So it's not something we have in English. And for an English speaker, it can be something that'll take a little bit to get used to. But we will use the verb ser for descriptions, for occupations, for characteristics, for time and date, for origin, and relations. And you'll see there's the acronym DOCTOR, which applies to occupation, so it's tied into that. But you use ser, the verb ser, for to be, with descriptions describing somebody's physical or personality descriptions. Occupations, that's going to be like he is a teacher, he is a doctor, she is a lawyer kind of thing. Characteristics, very similar to descriptions. In the end, it doesn't really matter between the two a whole lot because they'll both lead you to ser, but characteristics would again be something like personality traits and things like that. Time and date, we've done time using ser. We're going to get to date here in a little bit. Origin, that's going to be where you're from originally. So that's the de donde question, where are you from? And then I am from the United States. Yo soy de los Estados Unidos, por ejemplo. Relations, that's going to be like brother, sister, he is my dad, that kind of thing. Estar is going to be used for position, where things are located in relation to one another. Location, which that is going to be not so much things related in relation to each other, but something's current place where it's located. Action, which is the A here, that's going to be referencing things like if I say I am running, kinds of things like that. The am there is using the to be verb in English. You've got condition, and also you've got emotion, and you'll see there the acronym place, which is related to this idea of position and location. So you've got doctor for the uses of ser and place for the uses of estar. We're going to be focusing primarily here today on position and location. We'll cover action, condition, and emotion another time, but the big difference, condition and emotion, have more the idea of temporary things like being mad or a room being dirty but could get cleaned. So if you're looking for kind of a gut reaction difference between ser and estar, ser is typically for more permanent things. Estar is typically for more temporary things that can change more often. You can see that there with origin in ser, where you're from originally, versus location, which is where something is right now. So what are the conjugations of estar? So estar is an irregular verb. We're going to need to learn a separate conjugation chart for it. It's not conjugated like a regular AR verb. So here are the conjugations of estar. You've got estoy, estás, está, está, estamos, estáis, están, están. You'll notice there are accents on all the A's except for the nosotros form. Both the nosotros and the yo form don't have any accents. All the rest have accents, and they're on the A, the English A. So some examples, ejemplos. He is at the restaurant. Él está en el restaurante. The bus is to the left of the bookstore. El autobús está a la izquierda de la librería. And there you'll see the first example is an example of location, where someone is currently located. Second example is more of an idea of position, things in relation to each other. But both of these use estar. I am at school. Yo estoy en la escuela. Location. You, informal, are a teacher. Tú eres profesor. Now, one thing here, I give an example. Eventually, we'll have to make some distinctions between when we use ser and when we use estar. This is an occupation, so notice we did not use estar. Instead, we used ser for occupation. Also, just a reminder, when we have occupations, and from now on, this is going to be kind of required. Whenever you have an occupation and an indefinite article, so you are a teacher, they do not use the indefinite article with occupations. Definite article, they do. They also will use the indefinite article if it does more than just identify the occupation. So if it says he is a good doctor, now we're talking more about not the fact that you're not making a point that he's a doctor, but you're making a point that he's a good one, at which point you'd use the indefinite article. But you will not use the indefinite article if all you're doing is identifying occupation. We are from Guatemala. Nosotros somos de Guatemala. So there we have an example of origin, so it uses ser. They are in Spain. Ellos están en España. That is location. So notice the difference between origin and location. Location where you currently are, origin where you're from. Then the pencil is under the paper. El lápiz está debajo del papel. Position, things in relation to each other, uses estar. El fin.